I remember milk being present practically every day of my young life.
Time for milk. Any time is the right time for milk. Oh yeah. A glass of milk.
I remember mornings starting with big bowls of cereal. I remember cafeteria lunches were never complete without a little pint carton of milk, regular milk, chocolate milk, or my personal indulgent, strawberry milk. Milk was present at every meal.
So anytime at all is the time for milk.
Give a little time for the child within you. Don't be afraid to be young and free. Undo the locks and throw away the keys, and take off your shoes and socks and run you.
I remember my mom said that milk built strong bones and teeth. I remember when I had broken a bone, I drank even more milk, and I was surprised when my orthopedist said that he had never seen a broken leg heal so quickly. I remember hot summer days outside. I remember playing for hours, running until the sun began to fall, then rushing inside and guzzling down as much milk as I could without taking a breath. I remember my mom would always say to never drink milk on an upset stomach, but nothing ever beat that cold memory of milk moving its way through my warm body. Even now, I can almost feel it. Milk has had a thread through my life. I'm from the rural South, and it seems like milk is a part of the culture here more than other places. And growing up, I was involved in my local community's 4-H program, and there I learned about and became fascinated by milk's recent history within the United States. And this is the strange story of how the Great Depression and World War II reshaped the American dairy industry, and why the U.S. government has spent decades convincing Americans to drink milk. After the devastation of the Great Depression, America had a big problem. In 1937, about 1/3 of Americans were severely malnourished, and with the looming threat of World War II growing overseas, government officials became deeply worried about what that meant for the nation's ability to fight a war. And one food, above all others, was promoted as essential to national strength: milk. By the time the United States entered World War II, the U.S. military prioritized sending stable, calorie-dense food overseas to the still mostly underweight soldiers fighting.
And his cousin the cow does her bit too, by providing the country with the most important factor in personal defense: pure, wholesome milk. For milk, with its bone-building calcium and health-building vitamins, fortifies the body and makes America strong by making her citizens strong.
Dairy processors worked hard to meet, quote, the greatest demand for milk in history, end quote. Dairy was even rationed on the home front from 1943 to 1945, with things like milk, cheese, evaporated and dried milk being sent to feed troops. The Museum of the American GI notes, quote, ice cream was prioritized for American service members and officially designated a wartime essential by the War Production Board, placing it in the same category as medical supplies and ammunition, end quote. By the time the war ended, dairy production only continued to grow. Between 1941 and 1946, there was a 6% to an 8% increase in dairy production. Now we had all this extra supply of dairy with no real demand for it. The United States citizens got used to life without milk.
Young America learns the milk-drinking habit early. For their young bodies are constantly using up energy in the variety of activities that make up the day of the typical healthy youngster.
To battle the excess dairy along with the remaining malnutrition in children, President Truman passed the National School Lunch Act of 1946, making milk a staple in U.S. public school cafeterias.
Swimming and skating and football are great fun, and the children love them. But they are energy burners, and this energy must be replaced by nourishing foods. That is why smart mothers start their children off right each morning with a brimming glass of milk. For they know that...
They put up posters in classrooms, and there was even a song called Dr. Milk, to the tune of Peggy O'Neill.
Peggy O'Neill is a girl who can steal any heart, anywhere, anytime. I'll put you wise how you'll recognize this wonderful girl of mine. If her eyes are blue as skies, that's Peggy O'Neill.
But shoving it into children's cafeteria trays didn't help too much, because in 1949, the Department of Agriculture gave the CCC, or the Commodity Credit Corporation, a program which was created under the New Deal, permission to begin buying excess dairy off the farmers to save the dairy industry from collapsing due to oversupply. In 1973, the oil crisis triggered inflation across the American economy. Price of dairy rose about 30%, and obviously, people stopped buying dairy as they could not afford it anymore. In order to get Americans to want to buy milk, the government decided to turn dairy into a commodity. Beginning in the 1970s, the Department of Agriculture began selling milk as a concept. Through billboards, posters, and TV ads, dairy was sold as an experience you couldn't miss. This alone didn't save the industry, and in 1977, President Jimmy Carter promised to pour $2 million into the dairy industry to sustain its success. This $2 million was used to buy up any and all excess dairy from dairy farms. While this fixed the rising cost problem, it created a whole new issue. Now there was way too much milk in the government's hands. And milk cannot be kept or stored for long periods of time, but you know it can. Cheese. The government took all this excess milk they bought and turned it into cheese. They began storing this cheese any places they could. Warehouses, old atomic bomb bunkers from the 50s, even underground caves. By 1980, the federal government had accumulated more than 500 million pounds of cheese. In 1981, President Ronald Reagan decided the cheese was going to be moved into welfare programs. He sent 300 million pounds of this cheese through the Temporary Emergency Food Assistance Program. This cheese would be known fondly as government cheese.
If jobs is tight, government cheese everywhere you look. Oh, I know he's got some cheese here. Don't go to looking. Oh, not me. You got a brick of that shit.
Malted milk, malted milk.
This government cheese ended in the 1990s, and the government decided they had to stop supporting the dairy industry single-handedly. They really needed Americans to buy dairy. In 1993, an ad campaign started buying up TV ads, billboards, posters, with one simple message.
Got milk?
Drink your milk, kids.
When the government stopped buying this excess dairy in 2014, the market sort of leveled out. And you might think they would have given away the now 1.4 billion pounds of cheese in these caves and bunkers. But no, they're still just sitting there, even now as you watch this video. But from wartime nutrition policies to school lunch programs to underground cheese mountains, America's relationship with dairy has always been wonderfully weird.
I know I should drink milk because it'll help me grow up big and strong. Milk's got stuff that's good for my bones and stuff that's good for my muscles. And I guess that's okay, but I'm more interested in having fun. That's what makes milk so neat. You can drink a lot of it, and it tastes cool, so it can be a real pick-me-up. Milk, it does the body good.
I find it's all a little utterly ridiculous.
No milk today, my love has gone away. The bottle stands forlorn, a symbol of the dawn. No milk today, it seems a common sight. but people passing by don't know the reason why. How could they know just what this message means? The end of my hopes, the end of all my dreams. How could they know a palace there had been behind the door where my love reigned as queen? No milk today, it wasn't always so. The company was gay, we turn night into day. But all that's left is a place dark and lonely. A terraced house in a mean street back of town becomes a shrine when I think of you only. Just two up, two down. No milk today, it wasn't always so. The company was gay, we turned night into day. As music played, the faster did we dance. We felt it both at once, the start of our romance. How could they know just what this message means? The end of my hopes, the end of all my dreams. How could they know a palace there had been behind the door where my love reigned as queen? No milk today, my love has gone away. The bottle stands for a symbol of the dawn. But all that's left is a place dark and lonely. A terraced house in a mean street back of town becomes a shrine when I think of you only. Just two up, two down. No milk today, my love has gone away. The bottle stands for a symbol of the dawn. No milk today, it seems a common sight, but people passing by don't know the reason why. How could they know just what this message means? The end of my hopes, the end of all my dreams. How could they know a palace there had been behind the door where my love reigned as queen? No milk today, it wasn't always so. The company was gay, we turned night into day. But all that's left is a place dark and lonely. A terraced house in a mean street back of town. All that's left is a place dark and lonely. A terraced house in a mean street back of town. All that's left is a place dark and lonely. A terraced house in a mean street back of town.
Would you like some milk?